All right, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. All right, let's get this breakdown out of the way because I'm not one to believe that Deontay Wilder could lose to this guy. All right, Wilder. I've been watching Wilder for a while now, man, and I can tell you that Wilder was better than Breazeale about 6, 7 years ago. I think he would have beaten Breazeale today, 6, 7 years ago, because Breazeale's style is just tailor made for Wilder. It's not even about where Breazeale is ranked today, wherever you consider him. It's not even about that. If you want to say that he's a top 10 heavyweight, I won't even argue that at all. All right. Breazeale is a good fighter. He can beat a lot of guys in the heavyweight division. I think he can beat guys that I didn't even see him fight. Okay. But the problem is his style is tailor made for Deontay Wilder. I mean, Wilder is the kind of guys that I've seen Wilder have trouble against are not guys like Breazeale. Breazeale and his lack of defense is the problem. His lack of speed and defense is the problem. Okay, he doesn't have what Arthur Spilka have. A guy that's moving his head and his upper body, constantly changing directions, giving us lateral movement. All right, pop shotted. He's not Arthur Spilka. Arthur Spilka will probably lose to Dominic Breazeale. But Arthur Spilka's issues, or the problems he brought to Wilder, were similar to the problems we saw in the Tyson Fury fight. Even Gerald Washington, a guy that I think Breazeale would probably beat. I think Breazeale can beat Gerald Washington. But but Washington had some success early in that fight because he was a tall guy that knew how to fight a rangy fight. He's some sort of a crafty boxer. Breazeale doesn't have any of those. Breazeale is a guy that is just going to come in, he's going to get hit, and if he lands a big shot, he's going to change the direction of the fight. And every time we see Breazeale fights good fighters. He's fought Izo Gono, who was undefeated. He's fought Eric Molina. He's fought Carlos Negron, who wasn't a bad fighter. I went to that fight. That was the last fight he was in. He fought Amir Mansour when Mansour was, still a little bit more relevant in a heavyweight, younger, older guy. He was already old when he started to get his name going and everything before the prison, after he came out to do his prison time, but he was all right, So he's beaten some good fighters. He lost to Joshua and everything, but even against Joshua, Breazeale was tailor-made for Joshua as well. And if he were to fight Fury, he would be tailor-made for Tyson Fury as well. He's just tailor-made for anyone that has any kind of legs, a good jab, some sort of defense. He doesn't have it for the top three. He doesn't belong in the ring with the top three fighters from a stylistic point. I'm not talking about what he accomplished. Now, I was just saying, I already made a video about him and Dillian Whyte. He definitely deserves a shot. I don't think he deserves one more than Dillian Whyte, but he deserves a shot. But the top three heavyweights, too easy for him. Too easy. There's no defense. And Wilder, in my opinion, is the worst one. In fact, I ain't even going to say, because they already had a couple of, Wilder and Joshua already had a couple of opponents in common with each other, all right? Where Joshua fought, there's a couple guys. I know there's Eric Molina. Joshua fought after Wilder. And there's Jason Gavin or whatever, that guy. I think there's one more. I could be wrong, but correct me in the comments. But they already have a couple of common opponents. And I think that Wilder is actually going to knock him out earlier than Joshua because Wilder, all he needs is his jab and that straight right hand. That's all he needs. Like, this is a perfect way to look good against like a top 10 heavyweight. Tailor-made for Deontay Wilder. Wilder's going to be in there probing his jab, probing it, throwing some sharp jabs in there, and then connect with that straight right hand. all day long. And I understand Breazeale, what he needs to do, because I know now he brought Virgil Hunter into camp, and I think if Breazeale has some more time to develop, not just in a singles training camp, but maybe a couple of 2 or 3 fights, I think we would see a difference in Breazeale. But being that he just brought him into camp, I don't think he can develop him in that short amount of time. I mean, he just fought Carlos Negron. He just fought him. And that fight wasn't impressed. That's not a performance that's gonna make me believe that he has a chance against Deontay Wilder. But I was looking at some old, a little bit of old Deontay Wilder fights, looking for an opponent, and I was watching some of the Duhapar fight, all right, which was about maybe 4 years ago now, all right. Duhapar got stopped late, which was pretty questionable, but he was surviving well. Let me not say he was doing well, but he survived well against Wilder because he kept an extremely tight guard where Wilder was connecting, but it wasn't clean. And plus, Duhapar is a pretty durable fighter. So it took a lot. Wilder definitely busted him up, but it took a while. It took a lot for him to get that stoppage. And Duhapar came in. He had quicker legs. He's not as slow mobily as Dominic Breazeale. But I think if Breazeale were to take some of that game plan into this fight, I think he would have a shot at beating Wilder. I think that's his only shot. But from the outside, just trying to land big shots, Wilder is going to be sticking that jab out and throwing right hands. He won't even need to really be back against the ropes. I think if Wilder just kind of sat on the ropes all fight, I think even then he could still do well. Even if he invited Breazeale, he's skillful enough to see those kind of punches coming. A lot of people like to talk about Wilder's style and how sloppy he is. There's moments where he fights certain fighters, and obviously I don't think he's technically sound like Tyson Fury, because we saw in that fight he's not technically sound as Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, in my opinion. But he's skillful enough to see those certain type of punches coming. And a guy like Breazeale is just, on a skill level, he's way below Wilder, in my opinion. It's just going to be an easy fight for Wilder, and I actually expect Wilder to stop Breazeale a lot earlier than Joshua did, because Joshua, even though he fought an easy, perfect fight, in my opinion, I watched some of that fight too. Easy fight for Joshua. Joshua was just too defensive, played it too safe. He beat Breazeale slowly down and then finally got the knockout. Whereas Wilder, that jab and that straight right hand, that's all you really need to do, because Breazeale was too easy to hit. And Wilder is not. I was watching the Carlos Negron fight. Carlos Negron was boxing easily, but he's even way slower than Deontay Wilder. Doesn't have the power, doesn't have the speed, but he was still connected with the same punches that Wilder would throw. Wilder, even if Breazeale were to still get on the inside of him, Wilder has that short uppercut that it's so deadly. I think he dropped Ortiz with it. He has too many weapons for Breazeale. Breazeale is just too slow. He punches very hard and he's pretty durable. He has a lot of heart, but outside of that, I think these guys that even the guys that he beaten, like Ugono, Ugono was trying to destroy him. It was too easy to hit, and Izu Ugono was just trying to knock him out, and he didn't have the conditioning to maintain, and that's why he got hurt. He got hit with a shot. Breazeale hits very, very hard. He's like a tank, but how much damage is he going to be able to take from Wilder? I see Wilder stopping him within 5 maybe. You know, I think it's just gonna be too much. You know, and from what the last time I checked, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that Wilder was actually bulking up for this fight. You know, I know in the his previous fight, he's been cutting down in weight with every fight. I heard that he's actually bulking up for this fight, which is probably even better for him. Okay, uh, I see Wilder stopping him even quicker than Joshua. That's my prediction anyway. All right. Uh, you know, I think Breazeale has a shot because he has a puncher's chance without a doubt. But even when Wilder slows down, he's still throwing punches. You know, he's not a guy that he still hits hard late in the fight, even when he's slowed down. You know, so I got Wilder winning this one. You know, I know there's people out there that want to see an upset. This ain't gonna be the fight, man. In fact, I think Andy Ruiz has a much better chance of beating Anthony Joshua than Breazeale beating Wilder. Like, I think Wilder is gonna destroy Breazeale. I think Anthony Joshua is gonna beat Ruiz as well, but at least with Ruiz, he has some skills, you know, and he's used to fighting taller guys. I'll do a breakdown in a separate video on that, but I still have Joshua winning that fight. But I think Ruiz has a better shot of beating him than Breazeale in winning this one. Breazeale, tailor-made for Wilder. All right, so anyway, you never know. It's boxing. It is boxing. We just saw an upset, you know, the other day with J Rock, but that's not no real upset. You know, it's an upset, but it's not on this level. This would be a huge upset, which I don't think is happening. You know, Wilder's way better than this guy. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.